Welcome back to the channel, guys. It is me, 8744, and it is time for you guys your Champions League round of 16 predictions for this, guys. So remember, guys, I got 5 of the 8 correct predictions for the playoffs, and let's see how many I could get right for the round of 16. I'm just hoping to at least get 4. I think that's a realistic prediction. And yeah, without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. Let's start with the first match we got here, and that is PSV versus Arsenal. Credit to PSV. What PSV did to eliminate Juventus in the last round was phenomenal, especially their performance in the second leg and how dominant they were. They're playing against the Arsenal team that, let's face it, they have been very disappointing this season for Arsenal. You know, a team in which we expect them to challenge for the title race are now currently, as of recording this video, are 11 points behind. So I think Arsenal will now put more focus on the Champions League since the Premier League is pretty much at lost cause. That being said, Arsenal's attack is looking very, very thin at the moment. As of recording this video, Havertz and Gabriel Jesus are out for the season, and your players you have on the attack are Trossard and Nowari, and potentially Saka. Saka is set to be back for the end of round of 16, for the end of March, so he probably will miss both games. The thing for Arsenal is that, as underwhelming as they are attacking wise, their defense is still relatively strong. And for PSV, as good as they were, and they were fantastic against Juventus, we have to keep in mind that the PSV will play the first leg at home and the second leg away. And typically, PSV are really good at home. It's just they're away from home. They're not that great. They concede a lot of chances in particular. And I feel like this Arsenal team can get at them. And obviously, PSV have some players to look out for. Obviously, you got Noah Lang. That's obviously one to look out for. You got Ricardo Pepe. Obviously, you got Luke de Jong as well. You got Tillman, my American guys, Serginho Dest as well, although Dest is still recovering from the injury. So there's a lot of quality in this PSV team. So you can't underestimate this team. That being said, I'm still backing Arsenal to advance because of the fact that the second leg's at Emirates. And I think that is going to be a huge advantage. Maybe if the tie was reversed, I could actually have favored PSV, but I just don't think PSV is capable of getting a draw at the Emirates. I just feel like for PSV's best case scenario, they have to win at home and get a draw away. And I just don't trust Peter Bosch on the road in particular. So I have to go with Arsenal for this one. Moving on to the next one we got here is Benfica Barca. We saw this match took place in the group league phase of the Champions League, in which Barca had an incredible comeback. They won 5-4, and some would say it was a bit of a robbery. And make of that what you will. At the end of the day, we both teams benefited from certain decisions. Both teams got saw penalties, and I just think that for Barcelona, what they were able to show in that game, the magnitude they were able to come back is phenomenal. Obviously, Barca are currently unbeaten the year 2025. We've been so fantastic this year. The likes of Rafinha's been balling out, Yamal's been balling out, and Pedri's been amazing. Probably one of the best midfielders in the world right now. And I just think Barca's looking really good. Whereas for Benfica, it's a very chaotic team. This team concedes a lot of chances. The team scores a lot of goals. Ruben at times can be very good, and then at times it can be very bad. You also got Pavlidis, who is a decent player. They got Di Maria as well. And yeah, just like for Benfica, man, they're a good team, of course, but they're just way too chaotic. They're just way too unpredictable. And at times when Benfica can surprise you by doing so well in the previous round by defeating Monaco, that 1-0 win away was impressive, but then they labored to a 3-3 draw. So I just think for me, Barca are the overwhelming favorites. They have way too much quality for Benfica, and I would be surprised if Barca get knocked out of the Champions League, with all due respect, because Benfica are way too chaotic, and I think Barca are looking really good, guys. And so I'll be surprised if Barca gets knocked out by Benfica. Let's move to the next one we got here. It is the Madrid derby, Real Madrid versus Atletico Madrid. Guys, this is so difficult to call. I think of all the Champions League matchups, this is the one that I am most split on. And I feel like this one is 50-50, guys. Now we have to keep in mind Real Madrid didn't have the best start to the season. It took a while for the front three to really deliver. Mbappe in particular, and now Mbappe is in the form of his life. Mbappe is now in scintillating form, and he's finally delivering as we'd expect him to. The problem for Real Madrid, though, is that they're going through a lot at the back. I think defensively there's a lot of issues. Obviously, and they're just not the most well depth of the center back. At the time of recording this video, Rudiger is back from injury. You got Sensio and Tchouaméni. So the thing is, Real Madrid really light at the back because one injury could really be detrimental for them. And Asensio has been a bright youngster. I think he's been amazing. Obviously, Ceballos has also been really good as well. Modric just has been balling out. The thing for Real Madrid that concerns me though is that the first leg is going to be at the Bernabeu, and that Jude Bellingham is going to be out for the first game because he's out for a yellow card accumulation. And I just think that for me, this derby's been very close. I think in the last couple of games, it's been draws, and it's been really difficult to call. And I just think that this one is so difficult because Atletico Madrid, we know how much they hate Real Madrid. They really despise Real Madrid, and I think they're going to be up for it. And I feel like the fact that the second leg is at the Wanda Metropolitano is instrumental. And remember, the last time these two teams met was, I believe, in 2017, if I'm not mistaken. So we haven't seen these teams met in quite some time. And so Atletico Madrid, they have some important records to boast. They have never lost at home in the Champions League knockout stage. And Real Madrid, they have never eliminated Real Madrid from the Champions League. So I think this could be history in the making here. That being said, guys, I'm going to say this right now. I think this is where Real Madrid is going to get eliminated. And the reason why I have Real Madrid to lose is primarily because of the fact that I think the second leg at the Wanda Metropolitano is going to be massive. And I just don't see Real Madrid getting a result there at the Wanda with and I just feel like I just don't see it happening. Simeone has a really good record against Ancelotti as well, and I just feel like Real Madrid is just going to crumble. I just feel like Real Madrid is going to crumble in extra time. I could see Atletico Madrid winning the game in extra time and advancing through. I could even maybe see this go to pens potentially. And so this was a really close one, though. Atletico Madrid, obviously, players to look out for. Obviously, Alvarez is going to be crucial. Then obviously you got Griezmann. And obviously you got, the likes of Oblak as well. And I just think it's going to be a really difficult one. But I just have Atletico Madrid to advance in this one. And yes, this will be close, guys. This is going to definitely be close. And I wouldn't write Real Madrid off, write Real Madrid off at your own peril. They're the defending UCL champs. But I have Atletico Madrid to advance for this one. Next up, guys, we have Borussia Dortmund versus Lille, guys. Borussia Dortmund this season have been tragic. This team has been horrible. They sacked their coach Sahin. They brought in Niko Kovac, and even though things may have slightly improved, Dortmund are just so bad. They're currently 11th place right now in the mid-table of the Bundesliga, and I just don't see much hope for Dortmund. I just feel like Dortmund are just not looking good at the moment. It's just like so chaotic because even though their attackers go, Grossi and Brandt, their defense is just tragic. Their defense is shambles. And for Lille, this is a team I underestimated a lot in my predictions video at the beginning of the season. I said Lille was going to be a team that would be knocked out of the league phase, and now they've proven their value by making it to the round of the top eight, skipping the playoffs, which I didn't even think. And the fact that they've been doing so well has been amazing. And the fact they defeated both Madrid clubs has been fantastic. And I think Lille on the counterattack is very devastating. Players like Jonathan Davis is going to be crucial. I think Chebler is going to be good. And I just think that Lille is such a well organized team. And I just think this Lille team is a team to look out for. And I think it's a team that's a sleeper. I think it's a dark horse potential team, honestly, guys. And for me, guys, I'm going to go with Lille to advance for this one. I just have been more impressed with them in the Champions League. I think they've been much better. And I feel like the fact that second leg is at home is going to be huge. Now, some people say that Dortmund are maybe a cup team. As we saw last season, they didn't do so well in the league and went all the way to the Champions League final. I don't think this team is as good as that team. And, I feel like that Dortmund team is regressing. Hamas has left, obviously, their coach. Left as well, and I just feel like for me, Terzic left as well, and I just don't think this Dortmund team is as good. So I'm going to go with Lille to advance. So I have both Champions League finalists going out the round of 16, guys. Craziness. Moving on to the next one we got here is PSG versus Liverpool. Obviously, the big matchup. Everyone's looking forward to this one, I would assume. Probably the heavyweight matchup. And what makes this matchup so interesting is that PSG have a point to prove. PSG, I've been told that this PSG team is a team to look out for. Dembele's balling out. Barco's looking good. Kvaratskhelia is now looking good as PSG's front three. You got Joao Neves is looking good as well. And Donnarumma, Marquinhos, and everything. And Hakimi's looking good as well. And this PSG team looked good. And I will admit, this PSG team is far better than what we saw last season. My issues with PSG, though, is that I've still yet to see them beat a big team this season. Um, and people will say to me in the comments below, what about Manchester City? Guys, Manchester City are atrocious. They're a laughing stock this season. So beating Manchester City is not an achievement, guys. I'm sorry. With all due respect. And the current year, this season, it is not an achievement. Now, previous seasons, if you had told me that, oh, yeah, it's definitely an achievement. But I'm sorry, this version of Manchester City is just a joke. And I just think that for PSG, as good as they are, and they're a good team, I feel like this team is very top heavy. I don't think this team is as good in the midfield and defense as their attack. And their attack is amazing. I'll give you that. Their attack is lethal. But their midfield defense, I don't think is as good. And I feel like this PSG team isn't as well balanced. Whereas Liverpool, on the other hand, is very well balanced. This Liverpool team is a great defensively midfield wise. While maybe some people say their attack isn't as good as Liverpool, PSG's attack, because let's be real, with all due respect to Liverpool, it's pretty much solitary in this team. Because I'm sorry, Gakpo has been decent here or there. Diaz is inconsistent. Szoboszlai, you know. So I would give PSG the better attack. But I think Liverpool's midfield, and I think their defense is better. I think McAllister, and I think Endo, and I think Gravenberch is a superior midfield to Joao Neves. So I just feel like for me, the and Fabian Ruiz. And I just think Liverpool's defense, the Van Dijk Konate, is superior to PSG defense. And I rate Allison more than Donnarumma. And I just feel like Liverpool for me is well rounded, whereas PSG isn't. And for that reason, I have Liverpool to advance. And especially knowing the fact that the second leg is at Anfield, I have Liverpool to advance. I just think that for me, they're more of a well rounded team than PSG. I just think PSG are just too top heavy for my liking. Moving to the next one we got here is Bayern Munich versus Bayer Leverkusen, guys. This is gonna be a close one, guys. Both games ended in draws this season. And Bayern Munich, man, I'm sorry to say, this might be the worst Munich team I've seen in a while, long time. Their attack of Gnabry, Sane is just so finished. I'm sorry, this Bayern team. I'm looking at the players that are really in this Bayern team. The only players I really rate highly on this Bayern team, guys, are Kimmich, Musiala, and Harry Kane. The rest of the other players, and of course Neuer as well, they're not there, man. I'm sorry. Upamecano, Kim and Jay, they're error prone. Both of them are error prone. They're gonna make mistakes. They could potentially make mistakes in a game of this magnitude. And I just feel like for Vincent Company in particular here, I think Bayern is more focused on the league. I think Bayern Munich for me don't have what it takes for a Champions League team because we have seen them this season, guys, especially in the Champions League away from home. Bayern haven't looked good, guys. They lost to Aston Villa, they lost to Feyenoord, and they got smashed by Barca, and they struggled to beat Celtic. I've not been convinced with Bayern Munich, especially on the road. Now, at home, they've been decent. They are yet to lose a game at home in the Champions League, so credit to them. But I just think for Bayern, I've just not been particularly impressed. And especially knowing that the first leg is going to be at the Bay Arena and the second leg is going to be the Allianz Arena, I think it really favors Leverkusen here. And Leverkusen, for me, I've been impressed with this season. I think Xabi Alonso. And I feel like Xabi Alonso knows that the league is probably a lost cause. So I think Leverkusen is going to prioritize the Champions League over the league since they're already 8 points behind. And I just think for Leverkusen, because of the fact they rarely lose, I think Leverkusen might be better up in cup competitions. The players like Boniface, they got Tapsoba, you got Hinkape, Radzeki as well. And I just think this Leverkusen team, I think they have a statement to prove. And I feel like their record against Bayern is commendable. They haven't lost against Bayern since, I believe it was 2022, I believe. So I think it's a really impressive record. And I think because of the fact that Leverkusen have an insane record against them, makes me favor Leverkusen in this one. I think Leverkusen are the favorites for this one to advance. Moving to the next one we got here is Club Brugge versus Aston Villa. For me, this is the perfect matchup. I think this is the best matchup for both these teams. I think this is the underdog matchup. And what I really like about this one is that this is a really difficult one to call, guys. And Club Brugge, man, you got to give credit to them. What they did to eliminate the Europa League winners in the previous round is phenomenal. Players like Jutala has been amazing. Fonnegan has been good. Then you obviously got Mingule as well, rolling back the years. And I just think for Club Brugge, man, they're a very underrated team. And I think it's a team to look out for. For Aston Villa, they're a team, and we know how good Unai Emery is in cup competitions. We know how good he is, especially in the Europa League. And players like Watkins and Rashford, Asensio, they came on loan, have been balling out so far. My biggest problem though with Aston Villa is defensively, I still don't trust them. I still don't trust them defensively. I think defensively they leave a lot of holes in the back, and even though the second leg is at Villa Park, I still feel like Villa I'm not trusting. Whereas Club Brugge, I feel like are decent defensively, guys. Defensively, they don't concede as many chances, and so I just think for Club Brugge in particular, their counterattacks are so devastating. And we saw in the previous round they exposed Atalanta's defense, and I feel like they could do the same here, guys. And I'm actually going with the upset. I actually have an upset, guys. I'm going to go with Club Brugge to advance for this one, guys. I just feel like for me, what they did the previous round has been commendable, and for Aston Villa, even though they have been good this season in the Champions League, particularly at home. The away performances I have not been that convinced with compared to at home. And I feel like if they lose badly the first leg, the second leg, they may not have enough to turn it around. So I'm going to go with Club Brugge to advance for this one. And then the final match we got here is Feyenoord versus Inter, guys. Feyenoord, you have to give credit to them. The fact they made it to the round of 16 and so many years. I think the last time they made it in the round of 16 was in 1973, guys. It's been so long since they made the round of 16. It's been incredible. And players like Paxio have been great. Obviously Uwada as well, Triner as well. And Feyenoord going through an injury crisis right now at the moment. And what's crazy, guys? They just appointed Robin van Persie. And we know how amazing he was a player for both Arsenal and Manchester United, of course, and for the Netherlands, of course. And so I just think for Feyenoord, man, they're playing with house money here. The fact that they made the round of 16 is commendable. eliminating one of the biggest Italian teams of all time, AC Milan, is an incredible achievement, even with all the injuries. And you have to give credit to them because what I really like about the Inter guys is that at home, Feyenoord is very difficult to beat. I think their home record is very, very impressive. And so you have to give it to them. And I think defensively, Feyenoord is generally pretty good, guys. Generally pretty good. Whereas for Inter guys, we know how good this Inter team is. You got Lautaro Martinez, you got Thuram, you got Sommer, you got Bastoni, and Inter guys. They've only conceded one goal this season in the Champions League, which is phenomenal. Now, I did hear some reports saying that Sommer is likely to miss both games against Feyenoord, which is a big blow. So they're obviously backup goalkeeper Martinez will most likely play. I just think for Inter, man, they have to show up in big games this season because Inter, I'll be honest with you guys, in big games this season, Inter have not been as good as I was hoping they would be. And I just think for Inter, man, this is a massive opportunity for them to silence the haters. And I think because of the only Serie A team left in the Champions League, they have to carry Serie A. They have to carry Serie A. So for Feyenoord, I don't think they're going to do it, guys. As much as I would love to see them do it, I feel like Inter is just a way superior team to Milan. And Milan, we know this season, have not been as good as Inter. So I think Inter clears them in that regard. So I want to know what you guys think of the comments below. Where do you guys agree with my picks? Remember, guys, to like and subscribe if you made it this far. And yeah, like I said, guys, if there's any major talking points, please let me know in the comments below, guys. And yeah, I'll see you guys later, man. Peace out.